Okay, fourth graders, today is Monday, November 18th, and we're doing Module 3, Lesson 18 and Lesson 19 combined into one day. Our learning goal for today says that I can divide whole numbers and explain what the remainder means. Okay, so today we're going to be working some more with division and thinking about sharing and grouping things equally, but we want to be able to also identify what to do when there is a remainder and what that remainder means. You should have gone over the problem of the day with your sub already, but if not, make sure you pause the video right now so that you can take some time to jot down what the question is asking, the important information, and then show how you know. Then when you're done, go ahead and unpause so that you can check your answer. Okay, so when we do this math, we know we can draw a model to show that 3 pounds, 1, 2, 3, costs 87 cents. So if I want to find out how much 1 pound costs, I have to take the 87 cents and divide it into 3 equal groups. That's the same as doing 8 tens, 7 ones divided into 3 groups. So over here I drew 8 tens and 7 ones, and I tried to divide it into 3 equal groups. I had to regroup my 2 remaining tens to become 20 ones, and when I did that, I found out that each group had 2 tens and 9 ones, or 29 cents. Let's start today by reviewing what we knew about using place value discs to help us divide. Today, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you how it relates, how our place value chart relates to the written method, also known as the standard algorithm. Let me show you. So if we have 5 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's our whole. Okay, so we always know that the whole is what we start out with. 5 tens and 7 ones is 57. Just like I always tell the 5th graders, the whole lives in the house. You can see that this is the house right here, and so make sure the whole is inside the house. Then our divisor is how many groups we're dividing it into. You can see we have 3 groups. Here's 1 group, here's 2 groups, and here's the 3rd group. Our divisor in the written method is always knocking on the door. That's what I always tell the 5th graders too. Okay, so make sure that you always, when you're doing your written method or when you're doing the standard algorithm, you put the whole inside the house and the divisor knocking on the door. Whole has the same sound as house, right? They both have the H sound. And then divisor has the same D sound as door. So that's a good way to remember it. Okay, so back to our place value chart. I have 5 tens and I want to share them equally into 3 groups. So I can put 1 into each group. Now I have 1 10 in each group. I'm left with 2 tens, and that's not enough to put 1 into each group. So let me regroup it. I know that the 2 tens can become 20 ones. So let me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically what I did in my written method is I took my 5 tens and I said, okay, if I put 1 into each group, 1, 2, 3, I have 1 10 in each group. Then what I did, and so that's what Dad does when he divides. Then we multiply. We say, how many did I cross out? Well, 1 times 3 is 3. And as you can see, I crossed out 3 of them. Okay, let me go ahead and erase these circles so that we're less confused later. Okay, and then when we said, how many do I have left? Well, I have 2 left. That's the same as 5 minus 3 equals 2. So there's my written method. Then what I did is I regrouped those. Remember, I regrouped these 2 remaining tens to become 20 ones. Here, the blue ones are the 20 ones. If I add that to the ones I already had, that's 27 ones. Do you guys agree? That's the same thing as bringing down this 7. Now you see I have 27 ones. It's kind of a pain to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and continue dividing. Instead, I can use what I know about math facts now. I know that 27 ones divided by 3, if I were to continue on and doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc., I would have 27 of them. I'll just continue, I guess. And when I take 27 ones and divide it into 3 groups, how many ones will I have in each group? Well, because I know my math facts, I know that 27 divided by 3 is 9. And so I should have 9 ones in each group. Let's go ahead and count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As a matter of fact, there it is. 9 ones in each group. Again, I multiply then to find out how many ones did I use up. Well, I made 3 groups of 9, so I do 9 times 3, which is 27 ones. And how many, that means that I crossed out 27 ones. And how many ones now do I have left over? 0. There are 0 ones left over. That means I'm done. My quotient, remember, is going to be how much are in one entire group. So I have 1 10, and 9 ones, or 19. So the quotient is 19. Go ahead and give it a try by yourself. If I have 8 tens and 6 ones and I want to divide it by 5, copy down the problem into your notebook, then pause the video to try showing this division problem using a place value chart, and then relate it to the standard algorithm, which is our written method. Pause the video now, and then unpause when you're done to compare your answers to mine. Okay, so we had originally 8 tens and 6 ones. I tried to draw them in black, okay? When I did that, I wanted to divide them into 5 groups down here. Similarly, we had 8 tens and 6 ones in our whole, living in the house, and we wanted to divide it into 5 equal groups, or the divisor of 5 knocking on the door. Now, when I started, I had 8 tens, and I wanted to divide them into 5 equal groups. I found out that I could put 1 10 into each group, so I put a 1 in the tens place where the quotient goes. Then I crossed out 5, right, when I did that, and I showed that I used up 5 by multiplying one group of 5, which is 5. When I subtracted, I found out that I had 3 tens left over. Here they are. I regrouped those 3 tens to become 30 ones, and I had to go up because I ran out of space. But 30 ones, and then I added that to the 6 I already had, right? I brought down the 6, and here I have the 36 ones. These are the 36 ones right here. When I shared them, 36 ones, into 5 groups, here are my 5 groups, I found out that in each group there were 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I recorded 7 in the ones place. To find out how many I used up, I knew I had 7 in each group, and there were 5 groups altogether, right? 7 in each group, 5 altogether. It's an array. It's a 5 by 7 array. So I can do 7 times 5 to find out it's 35. I found out that I crossed out 35 out of 36 of them, and I had 1 left over. There's my 1 left over. I can't divide this 1 into 5 groups anymore, so my remainder is 1. So my total quotient is what's in one group, or 1 10 and 7 ones. Then my remainder is 1. So my answer, my quotient is 17, and the remainder is 1. This time, let's just use the written method. My whole is 7 tens and 4 ones, so that's 7 tens and 4 ones, or 74. Remember that the whole lives in the house when we write the standard algorithm. I'm trying to divide it into 8 equal groups. So my divisor of 8 is knocking on the door. Let's look at my first digit that has value. It's the tens. I have 7 tens. Picture a place value chart in your mind right now. If you have 7 discs in the tens column, could you split it equally into 8 equal groups? No, you can't. You don't have enough. So we have to, basically we can think, well, how many tens could I put into each group? 0 of them. So what I have then is 74 ones, right? I would take all 7 of those tens and scoot them over and regroup them and turn them into 70 ones and add it to the 4 ones I already have, so that's 74. Well, I know my multiples of 8, and I know that 74 isn't a multiple of 8. But I do know that 72 is the closest multiple of 8 that is not bigger than 74. So basically I can split up 74 into 2 equal parts. I can think 74 is the same as 72 plus 2 more. I know that 8 times 9 is 72. And so what that means is 72 divided by 8 is going to equal 9. That tells me that if I have 74 of them, 74 ones, and I want to put them into 8 equal groups, the most I could put evenly into each group is 9 of them. So 74 divided by 8, the closest thing I can get is 9. To find out how many ones I've used up, I can multiply 9 by 8 to get 72. I can subtract to find out how many are left over. And remember, this is the part that's left over. So my quotient is 9, and the remainder is 2. That 0 in the tens place doesn't really have any value, doesn't it? So we can erase it. Let's try that again using this problem. Let's use the written method. Pause the video to see if you can write the whole in the house and the divisor on the door. I know that I keep repeating myself, but trust me, this is a part that a lot of people mess up. Okay, so the whole is 41 and the divisor is 3. My biggest digit that has value is 4 tens. Hey, I can put 4 tens into 3 equal groups. I would have enough to put 1 in each group. So Dad is going to divide. 4 tens divided by 3 equals 1 in each group. So Dad divides. Whenever I think of the written method, I like to think of a family. The dad will divide. Then Mom will multiply to find out how many we used up. Well, if I had 4 10s and I put 1 10 into each group, I made 3 groups of 1, or 1 times 3, which is 3. Then we think of sister next. Sister will subtract because she's trying to find out how many we have left, right? So if I had 4 and I used up 3, how many do I have left? 1. Next we think of the brother. Brother brings down. And this is an interesting one because what brother's doing is he's bringing down the next digit. But when he does that, what he's effectively doing is he's regrouping, right? He's saying, okay, I had 1 10 and I'm going to bring down the 1 1 and put it all together. The 1 10 became 10 ones, and I have 1 1 from before, from the original whole. So altogether I have 11 ones. Now if I have 11 ones and I want to put them into 3 groups, could I put 1 in each group? Yeah, that would only take 3. Could I put 2 in each group? Yeah, that would take 6. Could I put 3 in each group? Yeah, that would take 9. I have that. I have 11. Could I put 4 in each group? No, because that would take 12 and I only have 11. So the most that I can do is put 3 in each group. And so here Dad goes again. He's going to divide 11 divided by 3. The closest thing I can get is 3. Mom is going to multiply 3 times 3 to find out how many we used up, and that's 9. Sister's going to subtract. 11 minus 9 is 2, and there's nothing left for brother to bring down. I only have 2 left. Let's check. Could I put 2 into 3 equal groups? No, I can't because it's a smaller number. So that tells me that it is a remainder. If what is left over is less than the divisor, it's a remainder. So the quotient is 13 and the remainder is 2. In order to check my work, I could do 13 times 3, which is 39. And then I can take 39 and add the remainder of 2, and I get 41. You'll notice that that is my whole, and so I feel good about that. Essentially, what I was doing is I took the whole of 41 and I split it into 2 parts. I said one part is going to be 39. That's the part that's divisible by 3, right? Because I know that 39 divided by 3 is equal to 13. There's my quotient. And then my other part is the remainder of 2. Okay, try this problem silently by yourself. Read the question. You can't underline. Write down what the question's asking and write down the important information. Then do the work. Pause the video now so that you can give yourself a fair try. Then you can unpause to check your work against mine. When we go through the steps of the standard algorithm, we're thinking about the family. Dad divides, mom multiplies, sister subtracts, brother brings down, and then we go again. Dad divides, mom multiplies, sister subtracts, and brother brings down. We can see that the quotient is 16, so each friend would get $16. Okay, 4th graders, today because we did lessons 18 and 19, you have 2 problem sets that you need to do problems in. Then please get your yellow exit ticket and then do Zern. Try your best to stay as caught up with Zern as possible, as that will help you each day. Okay? Good luck and thank you. Let me know, or you can let your sub know if you have any questions.